Hello everyone, this is Lori from Grammy's Keepsakes, and I have been playing. I was cleaning, but I ran across this that I made, quite some time ago, probably last summer, and I'm getting ready to do some more little golden books, and somebody's recently asked me about ephemera for my little golden books, and I ran across this again and I thought, oh, what fun. I want to make more of these, but different. And so this is like a tri-level pocket, library pocket type thing. So it opens up, so it's 3 steps. And this one is made out of envelopes, and I don't remember where I got this idea from or if it's something that I embellished on from being inspired by somebody's idea. So I just want to preface this by saying, it's probably not my idea. But I've got little cards in the pockets, and this paper that I have covered these pockets with are from Artzology. They're a tear sheet from Artzology. That I do remember. So let's have some fun. I made one out of music paper, and I just added the cards, but I thought we could do some decorating on it. What a fun little look. And then I made one out of cardstock. And that needs some decorating. And I made another one out of envelopes to refresh my memory of how to make this. And it uses 2 number 10 envelopes. So I gathered a bunch of stuff up that I thought we would do. So here I've got 2 number 10. I've got 2 large gardening book pages. And I've got 2 extra large German art pages from an old German book. So let's have some fun. So let's start with the envelopes first. Need my art glitter glue, and I'm going to just seal up the envelope. And I don't rely on just that glue. I want to add a little bit more to the edge because they never really use a quality glue on envelopes. So just going to seal them both up. I was going to say I lost my pin already. Yeah, so much for that. Okay, what we're going to do for the first one, this one envelope is going to make 2 of the pockets. So I'm going to go ahead and measure up 6 inches and cut it. And my cutter is over here on my left. So here I've got my back pocket and my front pocket. Now I need to make one more pocket, and this one is going to be 4 3/4 up, and I'm going to cut it. So this is the pocket I'm going to use. So they're going to be just like that. But we need a hinge so that they will work together. So I'm going to use this last scrap for my hinge. And what I'm going to do is just cut like a 1-inch strip. So I'm just cutting off the fold and eyeballing an inch. And it's connected because it was an envelope. I'm just going to cut it on that fold. And I'm going to fold it in half. Oh, this one's got a couple of different layers from some bulk, so I'm not going to use that. Here, we'll use this one. So let's fold that in half too. Can't get my eyeballs in there to see it. Oh. And we're going to measure to make sure my hinge isn't longer than my envelope. Oh, that one's perfect. Okay, so this one is definitely too long, so we're going to trim that up. And then what I'm going to do, the fold is down here on the bottom. I'm going to angle it a little bit on each side. On both pieces, both hinges. And this is just so that it doesn't show after it's glued. And if you want to go ahead and ink it, now is the time before the paper goes on. And I'm just applying glue to 1/2 of the hinge. I'm going to go ahead and close it. And I'm going to place it on the left side here. It doesn't matter which side, just pick one. I'm going to do left. And so it looks like that. And now I'm going to place some glue on this half of the hinge. Not too much, just some. Go ahead and close that again. And making sure that opening of my pocket is at the top. Line up the side and the bottom. And press it down. And there you have it. Yay! Let's do it again. Okay, got some glue. And this time I'm going for the right side because I want it to have the 3 steps. So I'm placing that hinge, matching it up to that side. We'll open it up so you can see a little better and go ahead and apply glue. I'm going to close it up, find the opening to my pocket. It's here somewhere. There we go. Yep. And line it up on this side and the bottom. And press it down. And if you can decorate it and then put the semicircle in for a thumb notch, that works out pretty good. And I've got some rice paper that I printed that I was going to decorate with. Oh, those are the pages. So this goes this way. So this measures 3.5 inches by 8 because it's 4 1/8 plus 4 1/8 on this. So if I fold it, I'm going to go ahead and trim this off at 3.5 inches. And I like to print on rice paper. And then I'm going to grab my glue book. And I'm going to glue all over the envelope. And I'm just using glue stick. And I'm going to line it up. And press it down. Now I'm going to bring this over to this side. And I want to find where that side ends. And that's where I want to trim this rice paper off at. So I creased it so I've got a guide. Now we're going to go ahead and glue up this side. And bring it over. Get all my mess going on here. Let's put the pin back in the bottle right away before I lose the pin completely. Now this is what I have left over of here. Is it enough? It is. Awesome. Okay. Or do I want the gull? Well, let's maybe use this sheet. I'm going to put this one on this half. And this was 6 inches. And by about 4 1/8. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece roughly. And just kind of line it up a little bit. I'm going to go with that. And I'm just going to go ahead and put glue on the envelope and trim off the piece later. There are no rules in crafting, so you can pretty much do it whatever way you like. That little seagull right there flying is just going to be on my envelope. I can barely see my envelope through there. It's probably easier for you to see with that dark background. So that's what's going to show. And then just flip it over and trim. Has a nice texture. And the back, I'm not going to worry about covering because I'm going to glue that down to my page. But we have to do this middle one on both sides. And I would like that boat to be on this side. So kind of making a mark. Let's use pencil so I know where to cut. And then I'm just lining up my pencil marks roughly. And then I'm going to go ahead and just put glue on this. Well, yes, this side. And then turn it a little bit so I can line it up with the top, that edge, and hope for the best. And flip it over and trim. So it has that, this little part's going to lift. And with the folding, I'm going to use just a little bit of art glitter glue in there. I probably cut it a little long. So we'll just do that, take care of that. Yeah, I did. I cut it a little wide, but that's going to be okay. That'll be just fine. I can trim it a little bit later after it dries. And now on this side, I don't really want to put another compass. Let's go with the seagull. And it is so close to being perfect that good enough for me. I'm going to go ahead and just trim this off. That will work. And because this is a little bit smaller than this, I'm going to go ahead and glue this. Being very generous with the glue stick. I do want it to stay. And I'm going for the bottom and the side. The top I can ink a little bit to camouflage. And then to get our little thumb notch, grab a ruler and a pencil. And my center, I'm going to mark the bottom one and I'm going to mark the top one. And I'm going to find the middle by lining up my pencil marks. And then marking the center there. And I'm going to use a 1 1/4 inch circle punch. And just go in there. And I'm lining it up, my mark, with that little line right here. Just kind of trying to eyeball it. And then this one. Can't get in. Seriously, how hard can it be, right? Okay, line it up with that center line. And then this one is next. And they're not going to be perfect because I'm just not, but it will work. It will be just fine. And then all it needs now is a little bit of inking, some tags to go in it, this little repair, and it will be all set. And see how simple that was? I love it. Now let me show you how I can just make them out of here, and they don't really need anything. You can put labels on them or all kinds of stuff, but let's go ahead and let's do the paper one first. And I have a list of measurements somewhere. Yeah. Oh, there it is. I was going to say, and it's gone. So I want to be these sizes that I have. I want to cut paper 12 by 5, 9.5 by 5, and 7 by 5. and that will make me my 3 graduated envelopes. So if 5 is my magic number, I need this paper to be 10, and it is. That works. And is it 12? Definitely. So I can use 1 column for one and 1 column for another. So I'm going for it. So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and cut off that margin up here, because my paper is big enough without margins. And cut that by 10 and cut it by 5. I have 1, and my second one needs to be 9.5 inches, so I'm going to measure down 9.5. And then I need 1 more. That's going to be 7 by 5. So we'll go ahead and cut it off at here. And 7. So now I have my 3 pieces. Need my scoreboard. And what I'm going to do is score at a 1/2 inch all the way down. Don't press too hard because it's book paper. And at 4.5. And then I'm going to rotate it and score at 6. This one, put in, same thing. Score at 4.5 and at 1/2, and rotate it and score at, I cut that 1 inch too short. Do you see that? I need to grab the other one. Oh, leave it to me. Okay, we have 9.5, not 8.5, silly. Okay, this will work. Put that one aside. 9.5, yes, because I need to score at 4 3/4. And it's not quite my 5. That's okay, we're going to make it work. I'm scoring at 4.5 and at 1/2. And now my little one, we're going to score at 1/2, 4.5, rotate, score at 3.5. We can put the scoreboard away. And we're going to fold, make those mountains into valleys. So I fold across, and what I want to do, oh, I got my scissors tangled up in my fussy cutting. Okay, I have my score mark here. I'm going to cut on the fold at an angle like that on both sides. to all 3 pieces. When we do our folding, now we've taken the bulk away. So now what we need to do is fold up our folds. And I'm going to have the writing go the right way on this one. And I'm going to put it aside. Let's fold the next one. And I'm going to show you a trick in just a moment, because we're going to be cutting off one of the tabs, but we don't quite know which one it is until we start playing with it. So now we'll get this one. And they're all folded in. So now what we're going to do, I want the writing to be the right way up, and I want a tab, I want it to fold like this. So I'm going to open it up and pull this one out and fold it backwards. So now on this side, I've got 2 tabs. I don't want 2 tabs. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off. And I cut it right on that fold line. Now, because this is the smallest or shortest one, we're going to go ahead and put glue on both side tabs. Making them out of envelopes is definitely easier, isn't it? But this is easy also. It's just have to think it through first. And then I'm bringing it up and pressing it down. So now I have a pocket with a flap. So I want to get my next size ready to go. How do I want it to be? This way will be my top. So this flap is going to stick right inside here. So that, and then this will be glued shut. So that means this tab, I don't want it. It's too many. So hold on to it so I don't mix up. Open it up and cut it off. Okay, fold, make sure that's folded in. And this is on the top. Fold it in. Okay, and so now this one, I want to take one of those out and bring it to the back because it's going to open this way. So now let's glue this to this so that we don't get mixed up. So glue on the inside of this tab. And I'm using the table so that I'm level, and I'm just folding that tab over the edge so my bottoms are lined up and my right side is lined up. So go ahead and press it down, making sure there's not excess glue. And now I can fold my 2 tabs in and place glue on both sides. I'm going to bring it up, hold the tabs in, and close it, and press it down. So now I've got this opens, and this hinge will allow this one to flip open. So now I need this last one. Determine which one's right. I want it to be this way. My tabs are all folded in. So this is going to go inside this side. So I want this tab to go away. Okay, now we're going to do our dry fit again, making sure that we're still good. We are, and that presses in. That works. Everything will come open. However, this side, I am not attaching it to anything else, so it has too many tabs. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this tab. So I'm going to cut that off. And I always like to wait until I'm done before I cut off that extra tab so that I have time to change my mind if I want to. So now we're going to glue this inside here. So let's put glue on the inside. And again, I'm using the table for my edge to line them up, and I'm bringing that flap over around the corner and pressing it. Let's double check. Yes, this will work. So now I can go ahead and put glue on both of these sides. And hold the flaps down and close it up. And it looks like I didn't quite cut that fold off, so I'm going to go in and trim a little bit, being careful not to cut the fold. So I have my little pockets. Now I'm going to do my little trick again with my tabs. Let's use these. I know are 4 inches. because we made these by hand, where the envelopes can vary to be all kinds of widths. And so this is going to be 2. So I'm just going to place the ruler at 2 and just make a mark on each one. Take the ruler out of the way. Grab that punch again. And see if I can open up our little pockets. And these can be inked up. And I think I will ink these up before I use them. And then I've got some little flowers that I have already fussy cut out. So let's go ahead and decorate it a little bit. Get my garbage out of the way. I couldn't resist. Sorry. They just look too new for old paper. And then hopefully with the inking, you'll be able to see the 3 levels a little bit easier on camera. Losing my flowers. And of course, you know, you can take more care in the inking, but at least I think you can see it a little bit better. So let's go ahead and place a flower. And this is from a floral gardening book that I had gotten at a library sale quite a while ago. And one night in front of the TV when I was watching my grandsons and they were just gone to bed, I had to finish watching the movie, so I just fussy cut out the flowers in that book. This will work. Okay. Let's go ahead and attach or apply glue to this one. Bring in my glue book again. Now, of course, I don't remember what side it was going to be on. Probably screaming at me. I'm going for it. Press it down. Makes for a very simple little decoration, doesn't it? The worst part is probably watching me ink the edges. I don't want to tear it there. A little bit weak spot. And I'll go ahead and apply some glue. Some sticky stuff. Hopefully that glue stick does its trick. And then let's go ahead and put the last little pansy on here. I wish I remembered the name of this flower book, but I don't. I cut it all up completely and threw away the scraps. I wish I had another one. Been using these flowers for a while. Okay, let's glue that up. And then can add labels to it also. That would be cute. I don't have any right here next to me right now. They're all put away. But when I go to use it, then I can put labels in. And then to make cards to go in here for journaling, I make them about, we're going to measure, we got 4 inches. So I've made the journaling cards 3.5 inches, and then I have them stick up probably a 1/2 inch or 5/8, probably 1/2 inch over each of the pockets. That would be good. And I think we can do that with a couple sheets of cream cardstock. And this particular cardstock is 65 pound. I've got 110 here too, but I think for this lightweight, for book paper, I don't want to go too heavy. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these at 3.5 inches all the way down. So first I cut it at 7 and then I cut it at 3.5. So I've got it. And so my first one is going to be 3.5, 4 inches. And then I've got a corner rounder. And I'm just using the 1/2 inch side. And that fits right in. That'll be good. And then we've got, let's see, 5 1/4 for that next one. What did I do with it? 5 1/4. And the last one, 6 1/2. So out of one sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, I got all 3 tags. And then you can put little tab pulls on top of them too, like I did for this one. And for this little one, I've got little yellow flowers for the music. Isn't that gorgeous? And then with the label on there for this one. I think that's going to be probably my favorite. We'll put this aside for now because we want to make, I want to show you how I make them out of here. Very similar to this, but, and then this would be fun to have like a journaling spot or something on here, stamp lines or put some paper on it or labels, and then the back will just be glued down, but you can put labels or journaling spot here too on this one. So fun and cute ideas. Let's put those aside. And the reason I wanted to show you this is because yes, it's a large book page, but they're not big enough to do 2 next to each other so that the flowers are going the right way. And I wanted to show you that it's okay to make them go sideways because you're just seeing piles of color. So for the long one, it is 12 inches long, which is good. It doesn't have to be. It can be anything you want it to be. But I'm going to go ahead and trim this one at 5 inches. So I've got one big one. So the large pocket's ready to go. Now for this one, I'm going to cut it at 5 inches here and 5 inches again. So that will be a 10 inch and a 5. So they're going to be like this. And I want one to be 9.5 inches. See if I can cut it right this time. 9.5, and this one will be 7. So we grab our scoreboard again. And as a repeat, we're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 4.5. Rotate. Score at 6. Next one. 1/2 inch, 4.5, and this is going to be at 4 3/4. Last one, 1/2 inch, 4.5, rotate, 3.5. Don't need this anymore. And I'm making them out of here so that you can see, you can use your busy, oh, is that ever pretty, book pages for anything. Double checking here now, maybe I want to use this side instead. Ooh, well, this one I know for sure. We'll see how that color goes with it. And I'm going to do that angle. And I think what I did forget to do on the other one that you really should do is angle the tops too, so that you don't see them. And then this one we know is going to be and I'm kind of holding it at an angle so that the light hits it so I can see that score line. Grabs it in the glare. So I need to figure out which side I want to use on this. So I'm going to go ahead and fold my tabs. This is some heavy book paper. And I was probably too gentle with my scoring, but I didn't want to go through the paper. But yeah, this is some heavy duty stuff. I'm going to go ahead and use this one for my top. This is really pretty though, even though the water is flowing uphill. let's go ahead and use this one. So I'm going to cut these two off, get those out of here, because this is the tall one, the very last one. And then this one's going next. Have to determine which one I want on the top. I think I'm going with the aloe. So now that's it. That's the one I want. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish that crease down because I folded it against the correct way. And we need to fold these. Oh, oops, I need to clip it. Probably hollering at me. Now let's fold these over. And I know we're going to be cutting off one of the tabs, but not sure where it is yet or which one. So we're going to leave them all in place until we're certain. So now I can change them around if I need to. I'm going with it. Okay, so I want the first one to be on the right. So this flap comes out and is folded backwards. It's going to be glued in here. So I need to remove one of these flaps, and I'm taking it off the back. So this one has got to go. So now we can go ahead and put glue on these two here. And close it up. Oh, I was going to show you how you can get all your tabs lined up with while they're still open, but we'll do it with these two. what I need to do is I opened them up and I brought them to the top, and here's where my thumb notches are going to be. So I need to measure. It's a thing I have to do. I have to do it. I'm not great at eyeballing it, so it doesn't matter when it's just the one, but because I'm doing a 3 level, I want them to somewhat look like they're supposed to be matching. So that's why I need to measure. But you need to do what you need to do. So now they're going to work. This one now, I've already glued it shut, so it didn't get in on the fun with that. So and of course I can't see it. Let's see if I can see it with the marker. Some dense growth going on there. Beautiful deep colors. Okay, so we got this one ready to go. And it's going to be glued right in here. And it's going to flip over like that. So that means this tab comes out and gets folded back. See, we haven't cut anything off yet because that way we have the opportunity to change our mind. So we're placing it in there and double checking. Yes, it's going to be like that. So now here I have my 2. So I want to take this one out and cut it off. Now we're going to apply glue to the inside of this flap. Stand it up on the table. Bring it over. Come over the edge. Everything's lining up. Squeeze. Okay, good. So I've got my flap out, so I can put glue on these 2. Could make these as just 3 separate little library pockets and then add hinges to all of them, but with these pretty book papers, I didn't really want to cover them up. So I had to think of a way to connect them and camouflage the tab or the connection. Excuse me. So that's what I came up with, is just inserting it. Love it. Okay, so now this is the last one. I already did cut the 2 tabs off because we know we don't need them, because we're not attaching it to anything to hinge. We're just going to attach it, period. So this tab is going to go right in there. So I need to apply glue to this. So I'm going to stand it up again. line it up, and the tab is coming over the side, and press it down. Double checking. Yes. So now we can go ahead and glue these two tabs to glue it shut. Oh, I stuck my finger in the glue. Good job, girl. And they're closing it up. And press it down. So this is my back. I just love this. I'm going to go ahead and make white. Should we do white or cream tags with this? You know, I don't like white. We're going to do cream again. So I'm going to go ahead and cut at 7 and then at 3.5 all the way down. Okay, got my tags. So they're 3.5 inches wide, and the bottom one is 4 inches tall. Or no, yes. That goes in there. And the next one is 5 1/4 by 3.5. You could make your tags 3 3/4 wide, but get in that little pocket. And the last one is 6 1/2 by 3.5. Got all those little layers in there. A little bit of glue had oozed out from that tab. Put too much glue too close to the edge, and that's what happens. Okay, and these were my scraps from this. So what I want to do is use my scraps and cut some tabs. But I need to determine what I want them to look like. I'm going to go with this dark hedge. And I'm just going to fold them in half. And you can make any kind of tab that you'd like. The beauty of this, it doesn't need any inking. Not that everybody does ink, but okay. So I'll grab some glue. Got my page number there, 216. This was a huge book, and I think I saved it though, because if I run across another one that's similar, I can make a lap book out of it. And that would be so cool. Okay, I'm just centering that to line up with the notch and press it down. And you can put labels on them, on these little pockets, or decorate them however you'd like. I'm just going to relish in the beauty of the illustration for now and have them ready to go so that when I use them, I can do whatever I need to. Make sure I don't glue it to the back. Wouldn't that be disappointing? There. So here we have our floral book page. And this is a nice sturdy one. And here I've got the German word book page. Not done decorating, but it's started. And depending what I'm going to do with it as to what kind of tabs I'm going to put on it. Maybe even a plain brown crafty tab might be nice on these with this book page. That might be the best. We'll just, because that wouldn't detract. I'll figure it out later. So we have this, and then we have the music one that I had showed you, but I didn't glue any of the flowers on yet. Get all my stuff out of the way. Okay, and we did our envelope with the C type theme. And this I plan on putting in a golden book that I'm going to working on. It's Theodore Mouse Goes to Sea, So this is going to be in here. Haven't gotten very far. I'm just putting the spine on it. So working on it. The other two that I'm working on is Hansel and Gretel and My Little Golden Mother Goose. But again, haven't gotten very far. But I love Eloise Wilkins' illustrations. Those are wonderful. And this book I got in an antique store, and it is from 1954. This is an old one. I love this graphics on this cover. And the little fox back here and the little bunny. It's just precious. 29 cents. That was a while ago. So, and then what else do we have? Here's our blank that will let me decorate it however. Maybe I can come up with some images for the other two books. And then I have this one out of plain cardstock, done the same way as the word and the images, except it's a blank canvas. And then my original, which was envelopes and tear paper, collage paper from Artzology to decorate it with. So I want to thank you for watching. Have fun making some of these. They were a blast, and they will come in so handy for all kinds of journals. Thank you, and have a great day.